was a day like any other in 6th grade. I was going to band, playing my scales horribly, and continued about my day. And then I went to Miss Butler's 6th period. And as she started talking about variables and pre-algebra, I started to get this really weird tight feeling right here in my chest. It then grew to spread to the rest of my body, and then my heart rate skyrocketed. I felt like my heart was going a million beats per minute, and then I couldn't breathe. So I just started feeling like I was panicked, and I had to leave the room and go to the bathroom and hug my knees to my chest until I felt better. This is what it's like for someone with anxiety. I was diagnosed with a panic disorder when I was in my senior year of high school. Panic disorder is a form of anxiety that causes the brain to release adrenaline in the body at random times, which can cause panic attacks. These panic attacks can make it very difficult to do everyday tasks. But I'm not here to make you feel bad for me. The main thing people with anxiety want is for people to understand what they're going through. And this is what I'm here to talk to you about today. So according to Brown University, anxiety disorders result when a person experiences anxiety symptoms on a regular basis. Anxiety is the #1 cause for seeking mental health help in the United States today, with approximately 3.3 million Americans being diagnosed every year, according to the Association of Depression and Anxiety Disorders. How many of you have heard that breathing in a paper bag is the perfect cure for hyperventilation? Exactly. We see this in movies all the time. A person freaks out, they grab a paper bag and start breathing in and out of it a lot. This is actually not true. According to everydayhealth.org, this is actually really bad. Hyperventilation isn't actually bad for you, and it can be cured with long, deep breaths. And in fact, carrying around a paper bag in your purse is actually very bad for someone who has anxiety, because it kind of heightens their anxiety about having another panic attack. Here's another one. If you have anxiety, just avoid stress and don't go anywhere that will stress you out. It seems reasonable, right? No, this is wrong. Avoiding places that cause you to have panic attacks is actually probably one of the worst things that you can do. Living your life in fear is not something that you ever want to do, especially for someone who has anxiety. So to give a personal example, I absolutely hate going to the movie theater. It's a big dark room with a lot of people, and I get very claustrophobic, and I just want to bolt out of the room. But I'm not going to just stop going to movie theaters because I'm afraid of having a panic attack. I'm not going to continue to live my life in fear like that. So I still go with my friends and I have a good time. And society is full of misconceptions like these, and it really has created a stigma around anxiety disorders, saying, they'll just get over it, it's all in their head kind of thing. And that's actually not the case. It's way more complicated than that. So some of probably the worst things to say to someone who has anxiety is, calm down, it's all in your head, or my favorite, I know how you feel. And actually, in a study done by doctors Eli Lebowitz, Lindsay Sharpstein, and Jonna Jones, your reaction has a huge effect on your loved one's anxiety. So they did a study in homes with children with anxiety, and they found that in homes that parents yelled at their children for calming down when they're having an episode, their disorder was actually a lot worse than those who had support. So instead of saying those things, here are a few things that you could say. It's okay to feel this way. Focus your energy on something that you can control, because a lot of the time people with anxiety feel like they freak out because they can't control a certain situation. What can I do to help? It will pass. Just keep breathing. I don't know how you feel, but how can I help? And my favorite is just don't give up, because a lot of the times when we're feeling this way, we feel like giving up and not trying anymore. So to have that reminder from a loved one is really great to have. So in the end, people with anxiety can actually be really great friends. They can be very understanding and enthusiastic. And really, the only thing we need is for people much. And does anyone have any questions?
So I've heard of sometimes people actually blacking out or passing out from anxiety attacks. Is that actually real, and has it ever happened to you?
You actually can't pass out from a panic attack. Passing out is a result of a drop in blood pressure, and anxiety and panic attacks are a heightened state of blood pressure. So you can't actually pass out even though you kind of feel that way. So I've gotten pretty close to thinking that I'll pass out, but I know it's not possible.
Do you think it's more likely to like vomit, or like what usually happens if it gets too crazy?
Vomiting is actually one of the side effects some people have when they have panic attacks, so it's definitely possible to vomit. Others are hyperventilation, clammy palms, shakiness, that kind of thing. So it's possible to vomit, but not everybody has that.
What are the different types of anxiety disorders?
There are actually a few different types. There's OCD, there's social anxiety, there's post-traumatic stress disorder, which some people don't equate that to an anxiety disorder, but it actually is. And then there's specific phobias. So you've heard a bunch of different phobias like claustrophobia, arachnophobia, that kind of thing. So they all kind of fall under the umbrella of anxiety disorders.
With anxiety disorders, can they be hereditary, or what really causes them?
They can be hereditary. For example, my dad has depression and anxiety, and my grandmother had a bipolar disorder. So it does run in my family, so it's definitely hereditary. Other things that can cause it is a traumatic experience in your life, or an increasing amount of stress. But mostly it's hereditary.
How do diet and exercise?
Eating a healthy diet and exercising regularly can help a lot. Usually people with anxiety and depression don't feel motivated to actually go out and live a healthy lifestyle, but that's part of the therapy process, to really get them outside and moving and eating right, because it actually does have